Bud list, inspired by Pack Stats, making stats cool again.
Really?
Yes.
He was. You're right, because you ripped it.
You just spitting
out
back
some shots at you.
And next thing you know, Mike is like, hold on, it's supposed to pressure quarterback.
I'm not making a difference?
Yeah.
And then how did he respond?
he
It's like the
saved
Bud
the
list.
day.
Maybe you were inspired by the Bud list.
Possibly second most inspirational segment in sports.
Pretty good. Meanwhile, did the Eagles officially erase all concerns now that Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball all around the field? That would be good. But right now, we're starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs crushed the Raiders. My favorite stat via Kendall Baker at Yahoo, KC had 30 first downs. The Raiders ran 30 plays.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
And also the Chiefs stopped trying to get first downs at the end of the third quarter.
Here's Patrick Mahomes. Take a listen.
We want to be better than what we are right now. And so this was a great step in the right direction, but we got to keep building as a whole team. I think this is probably the most consistent that we've seen, that we've been able to play and kind of stack games together. And obviously our record's still not where we want it to be, but you can see from offense, defense, we've had bright moments in this season, and now it seems like we're coming together as a team.
Okay. What did the Chiefs prove with that victory?
That they are once again the scariest team in the NFL.
Thank you. So hold on, wait. To be clear, I don't know that he's on the schedule again. But do we still, like, is part of the scariness being afraid that Russell Wilson can outplay Patrick Mahomes?
That was just a moment in time.
Is part of the scariness like being worried that they can't keep up with prolific offenses like Detroit or Baltimore? I'm just curious, like, what type of fear are we talking about here?
Those takes aged like avocados.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing to point from. I said I would not doubt them again. And listen, you are the Chiefs guy, and you have coined a lot of phrases.
Yeah, tackle the turn the tide. The best one.
Yeah, never a doubt.
Yeah.
They're the benefit of the doubt team. Like, every team in the league has questions. Tampa is just one-score games. Eagles, can they do it consistently? But at least the Eagles, they've won a Super Bowl and they've beaten the Chiefs. If it's a wide-open league and the Chiefs can put an offensive performance like that together, and they can string them together, which is what my real concern with them was. Not like I don't believe the Chiefs can be good, but like, can the Chiefs offense look like they've looked the last 4 games, and now they've got 350 yards and 28 points in 4 consecutive games, and it took them, 29 times to do that before? Like, they have removed
Can I ask
any doubt.
about this?
Go ahead.
I have a question, too. Did something happen, like, right before this 4-game streak that maybe could have changed the template of the season for them?
It's possible.
Okay.
But do you think, Danny, that because Nick did a big thing like ripping all the Chiefs doubters, but that this graphic would be like, well, why do you think the real team is the team in the last 4 games versus the previous 29 games, as the sort of empirical scientist on the staff?
I appreciate that, and how much does that hurt?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
That must hurt you a little bit. Well, I think the fact that Xavier Worthy came back, and then now Rashee Rice is back, and this last game was the first game ever that Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy have all played together. And again, I think the benefit of the doubt thing for them is real, because as Nick points out all the time, this is not a 29-game sample size team. It's a 7-year run.
Well, so this is my pushback on that, where you seem to feel like I am more bothered than I should be about the doubts after the 0-2 start, to which and I kept bringing this up, but that the Patriots from 2011 to 2018, the only other team to make 7 straight conference championship games, they made 8 straight. Chiefs are trying to match that. 4 of those years started 2-2. That we got used to the idea that the Patriots would figure out who they were in September and then get rolling. And the reason that the 29-game sample stuff bothers me so much is within that sample was literally them going on the road through the toughest, by advanced metrics, playoff gauntlet ever, and winning a Super Bowl, and then the next year going 15-1 with their starting quarterback playing, and then scoring 30 in 32 to go back to the Super Bowl when the offense got rolling at the end of the year. And we knew they were dealing with injuries at the offensive line and, more importantly, the most injured skill position group in football. And that's what, So to me, what they proved was, aside from the fact that obviously it will go down in history as a tackle that turned the tide, turned the season around, and all the numbers back it up. Just roll through the full screens quickly,
Here we
Christina.
go.
We just can't. Like everybody wants to. Everybody wants to do like these other things. That's the moment, and people can laugh because I'm a little tongue-in-cheek with calling it the tackle that turned the tide. Fact of the matter is this: they were 0-2, looked worse than they had looked in weeks 1 or week 2 in the first half against the Giants, and a Giants defender has picked up a football to take a lead going into halftime. And Mahomes took it back from him, and since then, they've looked unbelievable. They did lose a game, obviously, and Mahomes made a mistake, but it's the only real mistake of consequence made all year. That's to your point, Danny. Since then, they've been the most prolific offense in football. Since then, Mahomes been the best player in football, all of those numbers. But the other thing that they proved was if Patrick just has competent offensive line play and receivers he can trust, they are the scariest offense in football. And listen, I am very high on Rashee Rice, who he already is and who he's going to be as a player. But he is not right now a top 10 receiver in football. He's, nobody would say he's better than Amon-Ra St. Brown or CD or any of those guys. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be a legitimate number 1. He is not that yet. And Kelce obviously is not the player he was 4 years ago. But once those guys are out there and you actually have human beings that can beat man coverage and guys that Patrick trusts, they're going to move the ball at will. And to me, that's what they proved, bro.
Yeah, no, Danny, I coined the phrase the light show that has kind of caught fire.
Yeah, Brew invented
And
that.
it proved that the light show is back. Like, there's no question about that. And, we'll see what Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy become. But, I mean, that offense now has the deep ball threats in Worthy and Thornton. You got the underneath threats. Kelce now looks obviously not like he was in his prime, but he's been a lot more productive since Worthy got back. Hollywood, Juju. I mean, now that core looks really good, like deep. Rashee is great with yards after the catch. But beyond the light show being back, Danny, this is the first time in Mahomes' career. Now, we'll see if it carries out for the whole season. But the first time in his career that they have had a top 5 total offense and a top 5 total defense. Usually they've been, the offense is phenomenal, defense is okay, defense is phenomenal, offense is solid. Now they look like they have both. And that's what's scary for the league.
I agree, and we get a lot of fun tests. Like they still have to play Buffalo, they still have to play Indianapolis. Yeah. Like we get to see regular season tests of this like newfound Chiefs thing.
They play the Broncos
against
twice.
Detroit and Baltimore with Lamar. That's what it was. The offense was clicking, and they shut them down defensively.
But to Wilds' point too, like my criticisms or questions of the Chiefs were like present tense. Like I never was like the dynasty is over. Like Mahomes will win another MVP or 2, another ring or 2 or 3. It was just like in that moment in time, was their offense broken because of all of the guys who were out? And they did look, I mean, they lost that game to Philly when I picked Philly when we were all in Kansas City. They were struggling against the Giants, and now things have changed.
Yeah, thank God for the tackle that turned the tide.
Without the tackle that turned the tide.
Without tackle that turned the tide, everything's different.
The tide would still be going.
Also, kind of a sad, and this might lead well into stock up, stock down, kind of a sad omission there by you.
What'd I do?
You were like, they still play Buffalo. They still play Indy. They still play the Chargers too, buddy. But you're
the Chargers
but
already beaten.
I'm just saying, like
that's even more why you should have said it.
Exactly.
Chargers.
But you were thinking of the best teams and the best quarterbacks in football, and like Chargers didn't even come to mind.
Check in on the Packers and Micah Parsons, who had one of the best games of his career, 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Was he inspired by Danny's segment last week? Well, we'll find out in today's edition of Stock Up, Stock Down.
That's right. Stock up, Micah Parsons. It didn't take long. Pressures. 116% increase for the Packers this week from last week. And you said one of the best games of Micah Parsons' career. He's never had 3 sacks in a game, so the best sack game definitively of his career. And he tied his career high for quarterback hits with 5 and tackles for a loss with 4. I have no idea what Arizona was doing blocking him one-on-one. Like you guys were showing the highlights earlier. There was no help ever. Like, Micah Parsons is still really, really good, and he's just blowing past one blocker each and every time. It was his best game as a Packer and the best game of his career.
So I think that's pretty undisputable, and I think it's a great point. I want to kind of open it up a little bit wider because you are obviously a well-known Packers hater, just out of fandom. Nothing against the guys. Well, he's a Bears and Packers fans hate.
He didn't even pick him to make the playoffs.
Yeah. When they traded for Micah, he moved them up from last place
I
into
thought that was
third place.
It's genuine. It's genuine.
It's a heart.
And dislike for their fans.
And you, Brew, obviously picking to go to the Super Bowl. I wonder if you feel similarly to the Packers, though, through 6 weeks as Brew, which is not great about how they've looked this last month. Like that it is good that they got that win.
Yep.
And it's also, your point's right, that it seemed odd that they just let Micah Parsons continue to do damage. But Arizona moved the ball. When Micah Parsons wasn't sacking the quarterback or getting TFLs, Jacoby Brissett was moving the ball, and Green Bay did need to convert a 4th and 2 late that ended up essentially winning them that game. I'm surprised the defense, after that amazing start, has not looked as dominant as I thought it would personnel-wise.
I agree. Listen, both sides of the ball. To pick up a 4th and 4, they're throwing it 45 yards down the field. Like they're a very inconsistent team on offense and defense. And so I think they're better than I gave them credit for preseason. They're just good enough to make a critical mistake in the division round of the playoffs.
Go ahead.
Well, I thought we were going to more. We have to check the stock markets like you in the breaks, bro.
This one hurts. This one hurts, but to show that I am fair, stock down, Caleb Williams.
Wow.
He was objectively not good against the Saints, and the Saints defense has been objectively terrible against the pass. This is his passer rating, week 3, week 4, week 6, they had the bye in week 5, and week 7, the lowest of the season at this point. And it was masked by 4 takeaways. And in this 4-game winning streak, they have 15 takeaways in 4 games.
Oh, that's too many.
That is too many.
That's a problem. I mean, that's a
Not
weird
sustainable?
problem. But yeah, that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah, not sustainable. It's like Caleb objectively was not good, and people are talking about, like, are you being too critical? Is there too much scrutiny on him because they are winning? No, he has to play better, period, because the takeaways are not sustainable, bro.
You guys, we talked about it last week. You wanted to see a monster game from him. I said I'd be happy with a win and a solid performance. This wasn't a solid performance, and you're right. They did get the win, so good for them. Look, stacking wins is obviously important. They are right in the thick of the playoff race, but that was disappointing. I mean, again, I didn't want fireworks. I just wanted solid, steady play, and I didn't see that. And he continues to be on this roller coaster.
And has trouble handling the snap.
Yeah.
2 botched snaps, 6 other offensive penalties. His passer rating since that Cowboys win is 78. He has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions since the Cowboys game. Yeah. It's not going great.
No, I gotta say, this game really surprised me.
By how he performed?
Yes. I thought that it was, I don't want to say impossible, but I thought that barring, a bunch of turnovers, that obviously the Bears are going to move the ball through the air on New Orleans because everyone has moved the ball through the air on New Orleans. And for them to instead win just because New Orleans kept giving